Welcome to the 49ers You've Got Mail podcast presented by Delta Dental. I'm your host, Lindsay Polaris. Today we are joined by an offensive lineman duo. We've got Ben Bartch and Jake Brendel. Thank you for spending the afternoon with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Ben, this is your first time on the pod, so welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so Jake, you told me something a couple years ago on this podcast about offensive linemen that really stuck with me. It was you and Mike McGlinchey, a former 49ers tackle, that becoming an offensive lineman is something that happens to you. It's not something you dream of. So that's where we're going to start, your O-line origin stories. So how did each of you become offensive linemen?
Well, I'm the new guy. I guess I should start.
Yeah.
So I played tight end as a young boy, and then throughout all of high school and college. I played tight end until my sophomore year of college, and I transitioned my junior year, and the coaches confronted me and basically transitioned that summer, and then gained a lot of weight and learned the position, and then kind of went on from there.
Jake, what about you?
Yeah, so where I grew up in Wisconsin, there was a weight limit. So to touch the ball, you had to be below a certain amount of pounds. So I was always like 50 pounds heavier than that. So I was always on the offense and defensive line. Played both ways pretty much my entire youth career until high school. I was defensive line in, I guess, freshman and sophomore year in high school. And then our starting center ended up graduating, and the coaches forced me to go to center. So over a 3-month period in summer of right after my sophomore year, I gained 45 pounds, and I switched from nose guard to center.
What was the toughest part about going from D-line to O-line, tight end to O-line?
I mean, just like fundamentals basically, and you're obviously blocking a lot heavier guys and more skilled guys inside, and so having, I'd say, the fundamentals and stuff of blocking and leverage and stuff, whereas tight end, like, you're kind of, if you get a great block, it's great, and if you don't, you're tight end. But blocking's everything for a line. So,
Do you miss catching the ball ever?
a little bit, but I don't really care. I like a line.
Would you be down to report as eligible? And
I would be down. That would be an understatement. Yeah, I'd be down. Yeah.
Jake, what was the biggest thing you had to learn going from D-line to O-line?
Yeah, obviously, just learning the offense was huge. Defenses, I wouldn't say they aren't as complicated, but they're still very hard to execute. So just learning the offense, learning the ins and out of every offense I've been on. I mean, it's definitely been a struggle, but at the same time, it's what you put into it. So the more time you put to it, the better you're going to get.
Part of the transition to O-line involved gaining weight for the both of you. Ben, you had a moment on the NFL Network making a very special smoothie in order to gain weight. It was your secret weapon. I thought the ingredients were crazy. Grits, Gatorade, scrambled eggs, and peanut butter. How did you arrive at this smoothie recipe?
Desperation. To be honest, yeah. Like, we would go to Aldi and we would load up on, we couldn't afford a lot, but we would just get the most calorie dense foods and stuff. And then I was a strength coach that summer, so I had to carpool and I had to pick up all my other leads like 5 a.m. And so basically I didn't have time to sit down and eat the amount of food. And so I had my buddy had this big NutriBullet blender, and it had a big old handle, and I basically just blended my breakfast and drank it while I drove, so I wasn't distracted. Don't drive distracted. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
How many recipe configurations did you have to go through before arriving at that's the secret recipe for yourself?
I only did it for a couple months that summer when I was really trying to gain a lot of weight. That was pretty much it. Just kind of threw a bunch of stuff together.
When's the last time you had one of those smoothies?
That summer, yeah. That summer.
Jake, what's the craziest thing you've put together as a meal in order to put on some weight?
Honestly, I just ate like a complete slob for an entire summer. So I was eating like frozen pizzas and like tubs of ice cream. And
What kind of frozen pizzas?
Oh, like the cheapest ones
Jacks?
possible. Yeah, Jacks or Tombstones, some Red Baron maybe. You know,
Those are
Oh, yeah.
classics.
they used to have like Red Baron 4 for $10 back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Now it's like 1 for $10.
yeah.
But yeah, and then Bluebell ice cream. I don't know if you've had that or
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's elite.
It's still good. Yeah.
Fantastic ice cream. So I would crush like half a tub of that every night.
How different are your diets now?
A little bit different. Yeah.
Way different.
A little bit different. For sure.
Is there a favorite calorie dense food that you have now?
I still like ice cream. Ice cream's great.
I'm still sticking with Bluebell.
Yeah. Ice cream's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, pizza has a lot of carbs. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Ben, a lot of people aren't familiar with your story. You are a D3 product out of St. John's in Minnesota. How did you become a sought after draft prospect? What did you do to market yourself?
I did not really do anything to market. I don't know. I just like played football and tried to do my best. And Division III, you have to obviously play hard and dominate and perform and stuff. But yeah, I think that they find good players wherever you're at and stuff. But that was the conference and the competition I played in and the cards I was dealt. So just tried to make the most of that.
For the both of you, the Niners are not your first NFL organization. Jake, I think you had 5 teams. Ben, this is your second. What makes San Francisco the right fit for each of you?
You want me to go first? Yeah. Honestly, it's a great offense to be a part of. I feel like I'm a little bit undersized as a center, so I don't fit in every single offense out there. So being part of a wide zone first run scheme and kind of a play action pass pro scheme, it's great. It's been a great opportunity for me to be here, and just being back with Coach Firster, because I was with him in Miami too. So being back with him is great.
Yeah, I would just say pretty much the exact same thing. It's a great offense, and there's certain players that fit within it and different skill sets. So yeah.
Who have each of you learned the most from during your time here in San Francisco?
I mean, definitely him. Coaches, players. It's kind of everything. They kind of teach you.
Ben, you're coming off your first start, and this was a Week 13 game in which the whole left side of the line looked a little bit different. How were you guys all able to get on the same page, have a really successful run blocking game, over 150 plus yards on the ground?
Yeah, I think just throughout the week preparing, asking questions, making sure that you expose what you don't know, and throughout the week in order to prepare, and just like every week, preparing and watching your film, going over your playbook, and receiving coaching.
Yeah, and anytime you have kind of a loose footing game or just a game that has like a sloppy playing surface, the aggressor is always going to be kind of at the upper hand. So being able to have like those combo blocks and being able to like tee off on the defensive line, and they have to anchor into something that they really can't anchor in, was really advantageous for us on offense. I think we did have a good run game. Obviously, we didn't have the result, but at the same time, I think we could definitely learn something from that experience.
Where does that snow globe game rank in terms of adverse weather that you've played in?
It's pretty high. For sure. I've never had to clear my feet at the line of scrimmage, like clear my cleats, like I had to then. I've had some snow games, but nothing like that.
What about you? You were from Minnesota. You were playing in Minnesota, so this might
Yeah.
not be so different for you.
I had one my junior year that was identical to that. It was a playoff game, and it was in November, December. But yeah, they were like clearing all the St. John's. All the monks were clearing all the lines and stuff with their gowns on and everything.
All right, so off the field, both of you are very involved with our community outreach, and we've got some really cool cleats on the table here because this weekend is the My Cause My Cleats initiative from the NFL. Can both of you talk about your causes? I know for you, Jake, Living for Zachary, and then Ben, Big Brothers and Sisters of Southeast Florida.
Yeah, you want to go first? So I've actually been really close to this nonprofit called Living for Zachary. It's based out of the DFW Fort Worth area. And it's really started kind of out of tragedy. a teammate of mine in high school ended up losing his life due to sudden cardiac arrest in an off-season workout, and his family ended up starting this nonprofit so that wouldn't happen again. So what they do is they do a ton of things, but just to name a few, is they donate AEDs to sports complexes that don't have them. They also give out free heart screenings to youth athletes. So you can just sign up. I think it's twice or 3 times a year that they offer those through Baylor Health. And then they also give out scholarships to aspiring future MDs. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Mine is Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the artwork was done by my little brother John.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so he like made all of it, and I've been with them for about 4 years now. But it's an organization that basically has mentors for little sisters and little brothers that get paired with adults. There's an extensive screening process, and you basically hang out with them and spend time and do different activities together and be a role model in their life. So.
I know you touched upon a little bit of the artwork, but take us in detail of the design of these cleats and why you made the artistic decisions that you guys have, because they're completely customized for everyone that doesn't know.
Yeah, mine. Every year I just let John do the artwork, and then we throw it on a cleat, and then he gets a cleat. So that's kind of mine. But
What's the artwork got on it?
it has us playing, lifting weights, and it's really just whatever he wants to express or kind of show. Yeah, it's kind of ambiguous and subjective, but
Has he been your little brother for multiple years?
yeah. Yeah, he's been awesome. I definitely miss him, and we call and stay in touch and stuff. So
Awesome. What's the best activity you two have done together?
I got him into. I'm a bow hunter, so I got him into archery. I got him his own bow, and we'd go to the range and teach him to shoot and stuff. So that was cool. And then we just build Legos and go to the beach and stuff. But,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Mine, pretty simple, but on the outside, it's just the logo of the nonprofit Living for Zachary. And then on the inside, it's just a little heartbeat line there. But short and sweet, very simple and to the point.
Both of you also are regulars at Community Tuesday events. For both of you, why is it important as NFL athletes to use your platform for good and then also volunteer your time during busy seasons?
I think for me personally, giving back and using, everyone always says the buzzword like using your platform and stuff. I think it's important to help out because you don't really realize how big of an impact you have as an athlete, whether you're like a star, highly paid starter, or even just like a backup lineman or whatever the case may be. Like, it's a really big deal, and I know if I would have had that as a kid, that would have been really impactful to me because I didn't have that. I grew up in a very small town, and my high school didn't have any professional guys. So
Yeah, same. I think, sometimes you get kind of caught up in just trying to do your own thing and stay in your own lane, but you don't really realize how big of an impact you can have on just anyone that you come in contact with. So yeah, I mean, so my wife and I, before we had our daughter, we were huge into all these things that we would do on our off days and stuff, and I think we did every single one of them for like 2 or 3 months straight.
Yeah,
Back in
I remember seeing you
2022.
there.
But yeah, I mean, it's such a cool experience just to see all the different people that you come in contact with and all the people that show up to these things because they really are just great. They're all great people.
Our community relations team does a great job organizing these Community Tuesdays. Is there one event that was particularly impactful for each of you?
The last one that we went to was so we got to hang out with some people that were in transition housing. And it was just so amazing just to hear their stories of kind of where they were at their low and then kind of where they are now, just with like the help of a lot of nonprofits and a lot of these government assistance programs. It's really cool just to hear their stories and see how they really have just through hard work and dedication put themselves in a better position.
yeah, I liked the artwork. We did an artwork one with different families affected by cancer, and I thought that was really cool because everybody could express themselves, and the artwork was involving cancer, and it's pretty cool.
Your artwork for that was the Virgen de Guadalupe. Can you explain your special connection to that? Because the jacket was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. No, Our Lady's Guadalupe is big in my family, and we're all Catholic. And so my mom and my grandma had cancer twice. And so just like a special thing kind of in our family.
That's awesome. So the second part of this podcast, and Jake, I know you're familiar with this, but fans from across the country and the YouTube community have sent in questions for you too. So I'm going to fire them off. This one is for you, Ben. Derek, what's your best advice for a D2 or D3 player trying to stand out?
It's a good question. I think, like I said before, I think if you have the skill set, they're going to find you. And ultimately just put your head down and work, and things will work out. I mean, control what you can control. You only have this scholarship, or you're at this school and you're playing against this competition. Like, that's all that you have. So make the most of it, and, block like your hair's on fire.
I like that. This one's for both of you. Jessica from Daly City, who's your biggest supporter?
For me, it'd be my whole family. I think I get like 10 texts every single game day of just, hey man, I can't say what they say, but supportive text messages. And obviously even my daughter now is saying, like, screaming at the TV and stuff. So it's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely say my family, my whole family is incredibly supportive of me.
Are you guys kind words sort of supportive, or tough love? Like, you want somebody screaming at you to get fired up for game day?
I'm probably more of like, I want to focus on the game, and, as far as you're talking about, like, family members. Yeah. I want to just, focus on the game.
My dad was my coach for a long time growing up, so we had a lot of uncomfortable drives home from practices and games. So I respond probably to tough love more than anything else.
That makes sense, especially if you're blocking people all the time.
Yeah.
That does make sense. This one's from Travis. What is your non-negotiable in terms of a game day routine?
For me, I think diet and preparation as far as hydration and what you're eating. I mean, that's, if you're not fueled up and you didn't have a good night's sleep, I mean, that's for me a pretty big one.
Yeah, I would say sleep is huge. Making sure you're getting to bed at a normal time the night before, getting rest, and then just waking up being rested for the game.
For the both of you, from Angela, what were your first impressions of each other, and have those impressions changed?
Oh, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
When I first showed up, I was like, wow, this guy's pretty intense. At first, when you show up and you're the new guy on the block, and no one really knows you, and you're trying to earn people's respect and show that you belong, I think at first I was like, whoa, this guy's intense, but then you get to know him, and it's a good dude. So.
Jerk was a nice word.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have used something a lot worse. So, no, Ben, when he was first signed here, you didn't really talk a lot, but when you did, it was a little goofy sometimes. Yeah. So I thought you were a little goofy. Not in a bad way. Like, he cared about football, and he really cared about, perfecting his craft on the field. But there were kind of a lot of, like, left field comments sometimes, randomly, and there still are.
You're just used to them now. All right, so since we talked about it before, the smoothies, what are the smoothies you're both drinking these days? I know, Jake, you've had normal smoothies, so.
I mean, I literally just have, I used to work at Jamba Juice back in high school. So,
oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I have a lot of crazy combos, but my favorite would be like bananas, blueberries, vanilla whey protein, probably like milk or even water as a base, and then just some ice. It's good.
Yeah, I'm not too fancy. I'm like almond butter and strawberries, blueberries, bananas, and honey, cinnamon.
Those are a lot of ingredients.
Not too fancy, just 20 ingredients.
Protein, just like basic stuff. I kind of just throw it all in there.
Jake, do you remember any of the recipes from Jamba Juice?
All of them, yeah. Actually, they've actually changed a lot. I left before they even did the whole bowl thing.
Oh, the acai bowls.
Yeah, so I was out before that. Now I think their menu's like 3 times as big, but you used to have to know by heart every single smoothie recipe. So
Doesn't Vernon Davis own some here?
I think so.
Pretty sure he owns a Jamba Juice here.
Yeah.
I've been to it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wait, where is it?
I think it's San Jose or Santa Clara. Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay, so just out of curiosity, what's the healthiest Jamba Juice smoothie? What should we be ordering?
So a lot of the original Jamba Juice recipes have like sorbet or
Yeah, I remember.
or like this nasty frozen yogurt stuff. It's not good for you at all. But they do have all fruit smoothies, and they have some that have greens in them too. So I would suggest those ones.
This is a fun fact. All right, and then last one, Cameron from Sacramento. What's one thing people don't know about each of you?
I mean, you could go a lot of options.
The world is your oyster right now.
Yeah. I love. I guess one thing they probably don't know. I like art and pottery in particular, like throwing. I got really into it in college. My mom is into it and has her own studio and stuff, and has done it. And she's an art teacher and stuff. So I used to have a studio space earlier on in my career, but yeah, I like that.
What's the coolest thing you've made?
I've made some good mugs and bowls and vases and stuff. Yeah, it's for me. It's doing like proportional stuff that's not heavy or poorly made. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Me, I'm really good on 2 wheels. So whether it's like motorcycles or mountain bikes or back in the day BMX bikes and stuff like that. Not so much anymore because they're dangerous.
I was about to say, are you allowed to?
And I'm a
do
family
it?
man.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But
Seems dangerous.
I used to do some crazy stuff back in the day on 2 wheels. So
We will have to see some unearthed footage of this. Well, thank you both for spending some time with us today. And thank you to our audience for sending in these wonderful questions. In order to be the first to listen to the latest episodes of You've Got Mail, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's it from us. Niners, protect your teeth and your budget with dental plans from Delta Dental. Get fumble-free dental coverage today.